Now, I usually don't do RV parks, especially ones in a city, but this gives me the opportunity to get my muffler worked on the truck and to do laundry, and it's right beside the I-10 anyway, so $25, I think it's worthwhile.
And this was all because in my last video, I had an unfortunate accident.
Well, I was backing into this spot, I heard this metallic noise, like a bing, and so had to investigate. Here's what I found. Tailpipe. It's bent right here, dinged right there, and seems to be hanging a little bit. Yeah, definitely bent. Yeah, and the hangers come off as well, so it's hanging real low.
So I wired it up as best I could and headed off to the nearest city. That took me to Fort Stockton, Texas, home of the Big Bird. And just down the street from my feathered friend was what I was looking for, a muffler shop named appropriately the Muffler Shop. The mechanic cut off the bent tailpipe end, replaced the broken hanger rubber, and realigned the exhaust system, all for an incredibly reasonable price. So if you're near Fort Stockton and you need some muffler repairs, come see Ruben at the Muffler Shop. On my way out of town, I passed a squadron of javelinas.
Really windy here. And it's more of a crosswind. It's not helping my gas mileage, but it is making me sway a little bit. But I think I'm going to be turning into the wind soon, so should be able to ride it out.
What started off as a sunny day eventually became cloudy. And soon the dots started appearing on my windshield.
It's a little bumpy. Actually, at times very bumpy. Not liking those dunes right across the road, especially if it's gonna rain. I think I could get stuck there. Gotta go back. Looks like a sandstorm's blowing in. It's coming this way. I'm not gonna unhook. Get a little bit of shelter and see how it's doing. It went through some rough bumps. I think I'm in a really bad spot. It's hitting the trailer on the side and the wind's picking up. It looks like it's starting to rain again too. I don't want to get stuck here. I gotta at least move it into position so I can get out of here again in case it turns to mud.
If you watch closely, you'll see the camera tripod almost blew over. By late afternoon, the sun finally reappeared.
Well, it's cleared up. Oh, but the storm is still windy. And it's still blowing dust. You see the mountains in the background have sort of faded away. And the wind is really cold. That cold spell that I knew was going to come has arrived. And the reason I picked this spot is because I did a survey of everywhere within 200 miles. And this is the warmest spot in the area. That it's one of the few places that is not going to go below freezing. There's some places around here that are even going to get snow, but not here. So it's going to be a little bit of a chilly and windy night, but it's better than other places.
By sunset, the winds calmed down a little, so I could at least sleep peacefully that night. In the morning, it was a completely different day, and I could now explore.
You know, I get both angry and disgusted when I see people that leave their garbage at a campsite. They just throw it in the ground and leave it. I mean, what's wrong with these people? And it's even worse when it's a boondocking site, because there's nobody hired to clean it up. It just stays here until another camper cleans it up for them. I mean, just totally irresponsible. However, This pile seems a little strange. You know, I've got some kind of a, I don't know what's going on here. Usually you can tell a person's personality by the junk they throw away. And most of the times it's cans of light beer and food wrappings. But this one is unique. I mean, we've got all this broken glass and parts of pots and dishes and everything. Makes like a question mark here. And there's cutlery. Usually car parts, a spark plug, legs for a chair or a sofa or something. Very, very strange. And crystals. Somebody was gathering crystals. This alien creature, I don't know what it's supposed to be. I mean, I guess I am near Roswell, perhaps that's related. Who throws out a perfectly good hammer, And other unusual things like that, which I'm not going to touch. I think you know what it is. Very, very unique collection. Coat hanger, that's useful. I just can't figure it out. A cell phone. Whatever activity they were having here at the time, I wonder if they captured any in pictures. Or, you know what? Maybe I don't really want to know. But there must be something here I can at least salvage. And yes, I will be cleaning it up. I'm going to go for the hammer. So where do you think I am? Yucca plants, sand, desert, mountains, Arizona maybe? Quartzite? Believe it or not, I haven't left Texas yet.
So I set off to explore on foot the Texas desert, with my doppelganger following close behind me.
Well, if you like scrub brush, this is the place to be. Apparently there's some people that don't like scrubs, but I like them.
Desert scrubs are the Texas sage, the black brush, the buckthorn, the sand sage, and the prickly pear. They survive by a coarse layer on the soil that is called a cryptobiotic crust of lichens and algae that nourish the plants and stabilize the soil. It's the perfect example of a biodiverse system. So why would anyone not want scrubs?
I do want the scrubs. Scrubs are something I just really like. So take a hike. Oh, the comments I'm going to get on that one.
My camping spot was perched between two big salt flats. Perhaps the remains of a dried up lake bed. Nearby, you can also find gypsum sand dunes.
Well, it is kind of cool walking on the dunes. Makes me understand a little bit better why there are sandstorms here. Now that there's no wind, it's just so calm and quiet. But I'm sure if a storm blows in, it wouldn't be a place I'd want to be.
I love the patterns and textures of windswept desert sands. And there's also the shadow tricks of the late afternoon sun. Nobody's too short in Texas.
Well, the sun's about to set. And it's so quiet. There's no wind for a change. But one thing I've noticed here, I haven't seen any animals. No birds, no deer. I've never heard a coyote while I've been here. It just seems almost void of wildlife. It's probably cows, horses. But wild creatures? There's nothing.
However, if you look close enough, the traces of wild animals reveal themselves. As the sun slowly sinks below the horizon, it's the clouds' turn to dazzle. A lone cow finally provides proof that I really wasn't alone.
As promised, one more thing before I leave. But I am leaving the crystals.
As I depart, my engine noise seems quite out of place in such a quiet and still environment. However, now I know that in an instant, that peace could turn into a raging torrent if Mother Nature shows her fury. Looks can be deceiving. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out my others as well, and I hope you continue to follow me on my travels. And please subscribe if you'd like a notice of my next video. Happy travels!